Hi guys, today we're going to be painting with the Pupe color markers, 60 colors from OHUHU. They kindly sent me this set of markers to try along with the OHUHU mixed media pad that we already tested. So we're going to see today how these water-based colors perform and if they are paper friendly as they say. First of all, I want to show you how the Pupe comes. It's 60 colors, I already say that. They come with the swatches that I already swatched in a reel that you can see on my Instagram. And they come in this kind of case, which I think it's interesting to see because you can extend everything and you have like all the colors in one place. I have been working very nicely with this case, but I think it's a nice way to have it like organized and I like it a lot, guys. You already know the mixed media pad because we have been testing this with the alcohol markers, so I'm not going to say anything about. Remember, it comes with the plastic thing to put it between pages, which is so nice. We're not going to need it for the water-based markers because they don't bleed, apparently. But before showing you the process on the sketch I was coloring today, I wanted to show how they look in another sketchbook with another paper, so we can have an idea of what to expect or not with the final piece. First of all, say that I don't know how they work, so I'm very bad with these traditional techniques and markers and pencils and all these things. But I'm quite happy with how they blend together here. This is like the Talents, Royal Talents basic paper, so I tried on them to see first how they work. Even in this paper that is not prepared for markers, they blended so well. I could do a lot of layers. You can see paper, it's really smooth. The bad thing for this kind of sketchbook is that they bleed a little bit, you can see here the comparison. This is alcohol markers, the OHUHU alcohol markers, and this is the water-based markers. So you see they tend to bleed, and if you put a lot of layers, they bleed through. Maybe it's because of the thickness of the paper, maybe it's the way the paper grabs the ink. So yeah, but for now, let's go and see how the water-based colors works with the mixed media pad. I decided to add some color to this sketch I did from Harry, Ron and Hermione. I have been watching the films lately, it's almost Christmas and that's what I do, sorry not sorry, and I thought I could bring some kind of magic to my artwork. But any magic can help me when working on traditional, as you will see. The Pupe markers range color is very wide. It has a lot of options for skin tones, and you know how difficult decision it is. But I went wild and chose a lighter tone to start blocking colors. My surprise came when I started seeing all these strikes over the face of the characters. I was horrified, but I'm going to make a spoiler here. It ends looking quite good. So, despite the lines, I said to myself to keep going and try to be confident on the process, so I did. I tried a similar approach as I did when using alcohol markers. Is this the correct one? Honestly, I didn't know. But I grabbed a dark tone to create some shadows and a pinky one to add some blush on the face, the ears, and the nose. I am very pleased on the way these markers blend to each other. The brush tip is so soft that makes painting a good experience. You don't have the feeling that you are scratching the paper at any moment, and this is one of the go-tos for these markers. They say it's paper friendly and support like more than 10 layers. As I am not that expertise, I only did like 3 or 4 on the hair color for each character, and yeah, paper looks like new. For the hair, I went for the lighter tones of the hues I wanted. I was quite pleased with the colors I chose for Hermione and Harry's, but I didn't expect that bright orange for Ron's hair. It was so bright. And at that point, after painting Harry's and Ron's and doing Hermione's hair, I thought that maybe I could use that strikes again and bring it into my field and use it to create some texture, which I think this was a wise decision. One of the coolest things that the Pupe markers have is the dual tips. You can see I am a big fan of them. You have 2 markers in one, that's amazing. The fine liner, it is so helpful to add small details and to create the liner as you will see in a little while. But at this stage, I use it for the eyebrows and that's all. I have to admit that not knowing how to use the markers put me a little bit nervous. I wasn't sure what I was doing and I decided to go for a darkened color to layer the hairstyles of the three characters. I was very happy on how Ron's hair look. It's so shiny, and the same with Harry's, but the most difficult was Hermione Wildmane. I really struggled to bring this mane to life. I decided to create some shadow with one of the darkened browns that came in the set, and by the way, we have like 7 different browns from light to dark colors, and I think it's enough to help you blend them. And it also came as a blender, and you see me trying to use it in a very unsuccessful way. And I still don't know what I'm doing wrong, so please, if you know it, leave it in the comments. Next in line are the clothes. I know the capes are actually black, but when it comes to represent colors, I try not to use pure black, never ever. Instead, I try to work with the different grays I have available. While working on digital, we have plenty of different hues, but in traditional, we are very limited. This time, I only have like 4. The point here is to use the black to create the shadows and the lighter gray to create the lights. We have all these colors to make it in this brush set, but I completely avoid the light gray and I just make a solid color with the darkest one I have. And once I had all the color blocking and all the color, all the base color, I saw I just needed to make some lines to put everything together. There's always a moment while you're drawing that you look at your drawing and it's horrible and makes nonsense. But don't give up, keep going. Even you don't know what you're doing, everything is going to look fine in the end, I promise. At the halfway of the process, I entered in panic and chaos mode. I got a nice pleasant drawing in front of me. Ignore the fact that I still didn't draw Harry's glasses, but I had a feeling that something was missing. I needed to create depth, details, and rich textures. The fine line really helped me to add details, but I found missing a lighter purple to use it to create the shadows. The clematis was too hard for my liking in this drawing, and I ended up using the purple grade 5. I use it both on the skin and also on the clothes. And then I started messing it up. I felt very encouraged to create some gradients on the faces to get like a 3D effect, but it didn't work as expected. To solve this, I did another layer of the base skin color on top of everything. That means more strikes, they were barely perceptive at this point, and also means a little change on the color of skin, making it darken, which means less contrast between the color blocks. Apparently, instead of attending Howard's, they just came from a spring break in Palm Beach. Anyways, I had to redo the blush again because after the new base layer, it faded a little bit. And I might say that after 3, almost 4 layers, the paper didn't rip off or peel. So I can say, somehow, the Pupe markers are paper friendly. I arrived at that moment where I had to decide if the illustration was finished or not. After a deep look, I realized that it needed some black, so I started adding like final color to the cape with the brush tip with the black color. And soon I will see that I needed in other places because still I thought it was missing something. So I said, why not adding some background? Because maybe the background helps me to put everything together. So I decided to go with this pinky or neon pink color. It's not a color that I use when drawing with on the tablet, but somehow I'm realizing that when I work with traditional, I'm more expressive with my colors, which is surprising for me. And I realized too that I need to fill the blank spaces with doodles or with background colors, but I don't like the blank of the sketchbook sitting there. It's quite curious because when I work on my tablet, I feel fine with that white backgrounds. I leave them always in almost all my drawings. But I don't know, guys, when I approach art in traditional, I don't feel that fine, you know what I mean? So I think one of my goals for 2025 is to achieve some kind of consistency while working on digital and traditional, but we'll see. Finally, I noticed that I didn't draw Harry glasses yet, so I did it. Yay! And I started working on them with the fine line tip. I really enjoy working with both tips, I have to say. I felt very natural switching between them while working, because that led me to, switch to the painting mode and then focus on adding details, or if I needed to paint small portions of the drawing. And also, I decided to use them for the line art, as you have been seeing. But I must say that I don't feel comfortable right now. I mean, not comfortable, but I don't know if I like how it looks. Not because of the fine lines, because the fine liners works pretty well, but I think I'm in the mood of not loving this kind of line art. Maybe I prefer to use pencils, color pencils, to do that. They are so soft, and I think I can have a result that I like more. But I wanted to show you how you can use them, both of the tips, because in the other video I didn't use the fine line tip for creating like the liner of the illustration. I used the pencils instead. But I think it's nice to see that you have this possibility if you want, if you are some person that like adding color, color at your line art. So also these brushes are very nice option because you have a very wide range, as I said before, not only for painting, but also for creating line art. So I think it's so cool. You can use all these colors. And I think if you work with alcohol markers and you are a person that prefers to have some kind of line art, probably these markers will fit your process because colors match very well with the alcohol markers on the OHUHU brand. So it's a good option to have both. And I decided that I wanted to finish this drawing with a little bit more of black, not only with the black of the capes. So I grabbed the Sakura Pigma pencil that I bought the day before. So I decided that it was like a nice moment to see how they work. And the black put everything together. I was thinking that the background was the thing, but I think it brings to the illustration some color and put everything together and connect all the characters and also make them pop from the background. I don't know, it's very far away from the style I tend to do when I work on digital, that I don't know if it's looking fine or not, and if I have to like it or not, or if it's a disaster or not. But yeah, so I just added a few touches here and there. Finally, I just made like all the shadows on the neck in black instead of the purple that I used at the beginning. Also, I wanted to try to use the pencils over the markers here because the other sketchbook, I felt like the pencils didn't work very well with a very soaked in ink paper. But this time with the mixed media pad, they worked pretty fine. They were, very creamy the way that pencils are. And overall, I liked the experience of working with these markers with the combination of the mixed media pad and also in combination with the inks and the pencils. So I think I felt very, very motivated to work. So I want to continue working with that and trying different things because I have a lot to discover from myself, like a traditional artist. So I really want to do that and see how far I can do or I can go. So if you are like me and want to experiment with your traditional artists, you have a 10% discount on the OHUHU website to buy these markers or the other markers or the mixed media pad or wherever. I'm going to leave the links below so you can go there, grab your traditional materials and start painting. And now let's see how it looks a few days later. So this is the final result. I had been waiting a couple of days to show you because the drawing has slightly changed. I mean, not that much, but I feel like the stretches and marks that you have been seeing over the process, they somehow disappear. I mean, we can see a little bit here, but it's nothing comparable with how they look while I was painting them. Also, the colors, I think they are more vibrant, maybe because today is daytime, and while I was painting, it was like sunset, so I didn't have that much light. For example, the neon pink, that I didn't thought it was that neon when I was painting, but right now I see it super bright. And the same with the oranges and reds. The skin that I was thinking when I was painting it that it was going to look super dark, I think the lights a little bit, but I'm fine with that because I really love the final result. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I think the combinations or how it's interesting to see how the materials work together and how they change over the time. Because when you paint, pigments and inks need to settle a little bit. So probably sometimes, and I don't know if this is common with all the water-based markers, because these are the ones that I try for 10, 11 years. So it's been a while. And I think that also I don't have that technique and I need to improve that, so that's why I'm going to continue painting with them and continue painting with the alcohol markers and the pencils and working with the mixed media path, because I think the combination of markers and the media path works super well. I think the mixed media path have something with the ink that make it, I don't know how to explain it, but it's soften the ink in some way. Also, I want to show you that there's no bleeding. This is interesting. If you are of that kind of people that want to work in both sides, probably you can see, or you can try to work with water-based colors instead, because with the alcohol markers, or you can avoid that and it's going to bleed through. But with these ones, you don't have these issues. So if you want to see more of this experimentation, if you want to see more traditional art from me, turn on the notification bell, subscribe, and like this video, so I know you want to see more of this and you want to learn more. So thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye, and stay creative.